Good afternoon, everyone. We're just going to wait one more minute before we get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Maya Lee. I am the administrator for the surplus property for the city of Jackson. I just want to welcome you to our first episode of Selling Surplus, where the city of Jackson surplus is your opportunity. Today, I really want us to go over our table of contents, our menu essentially for today. Um, for today's episode, we'll be discussing our process for surplus property. We'll also be discussing Zoom Prospector, which is a system for you to be able to view the different properties that we have available. And then the last thing we'll go over is how to apply, how to submit your application. For today's discussion, for today's presentation, we'll be looking at 3 available properties on Zoom Prospector. Please just know that even though we're looking at those 3 properties today, you're able to submit an application for any of the properties, and I'll go through some of those properties and the different avenues of how you can access and see what's available. If you have any questions, any concerns, any comments, please do not hesitate to put a question, your comments, your concerns inside of the comments, the chat box, and I'll get to those at the very end of our presentation. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's look at our process for surplus property. As you can see in front of you, our process for surplus property is governed by the state of Mississippi. It's governed by the state of Mississippi. At the very beginning of our process is where you're able to choose your property. You're able to choose more than one property. Just know that in order for you to submit an application, you're submitting one application for each property that you have. So if you have 3 properties that you want to, you choose to pursue the process through, you'll be submitting an application individually for each one of those 3 properties. But after you submit your application, the very first thing that's going to happen is you'll be in contact with me, and I'll be conducting all of the research as a part of the intake review, but I'll be with you throughout the entire process. After you have submitted your application, I've done the research for it. All of this information is presented before our Surplus Property Committee. Every month on the 3rd Thursdays, we have a meeting with our Surplus Property Committee. At that meeting, you'll be able to present your case. You'll be asked some questions regarding what is your use, what do you intend to use for this property for. But at that meeting, our committee will declare this property to be surplus. After it has been declared surplus, then depending on your disposal method, you'll be able to go through the process. So if you wanted to do an appraisal route for your property, in a sense that you only want to be the person actually purchasing the property, then it will go through the appraisal method, and then the item be presented before our city council. If you want to go through the bid method, you're open to do that also, and it will still go before our city council for approval. After it goes before our city council for approval, then it will continue through our processes, depending on your disposal method, before a quitclaim deed is created and executed by a mayor. The very end of our process is just for the paperwork to be filed at our Hinds County Chancery Court. But throughout any part of this process, you will be in contact with me, and I'll be able to help you, assist you as we're going from one step to the next. For this conversation right now, we're more so going to be looking at our first 2 steps in terms of how to choose your property, the avenues to see the available properties, and then the second, which is how to submit an application for surplus property. So Our second item on our agenda was looking at Zoom Prospector. So Zoom Prospector, it is a system that allows for you to be able to see our available properties. This system is being updated on a continuous basis. So it does not show all of our properties, but you'll be able to see some of the pictures and images we have of those different sites, as well as I'll show you another avenue to see the entire list of all the properties too. So what you can see now is a QR code as well as a bit.ly link that allows for you to go to the Zoom Prospector. I'm going to show you what it looks like once you click on that link, as well as how to navigate to Zoom Prospector from just Google. So give me one moment as I just share a browser. So what you see in front of me or in front of you is just I opened up a simple search engine. You can use Google, you can use Yahoo, whatever search engine that you prefer. And you can just type in Zoom Prospector. And what it's going to take you to is a series of different search population search results. The very first one, which is called zoomprospector.com, and you can click on that. And it's just going to take you to our website for Zoom Prospector. To be able to get to the one for the city of Jackson, all you want to do first is click on Search Communities. And once you click on there, you can search by a variety of different ways. But the thing we really want to search by is by city. And we're just going to put in Jackson. And you'll see the city of Jackson populate for you. All you want to do is scroll on down and you'll see this area that says find properties. So for surplus property, we're looking at the available properties that we have, and you just want to click on City of Jackson. When you click on City of Jackson, you'll come to this screen. When you click on that link or you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to this same screen that shows all of the properties that we have right now in the system for the City of Jackson. For today, we are looking at 3 different properties, and I want to show some unique aspects regarding Zoom Prospector. One of the huge unique aspects for me is the ability to be able to compare the different properties together. So let's say, for example, you have 2 properties that you are trying to figure out really what's the difference between the two. If you really like them, you can click on the box that says compare, and at the bottom you'll see it'll start to populate the different properties you're selecting, and then and I'll show you what it looks like once you compare it. So you can put in there more than one property to be able to compare and just show the comparison and aspects of it. So, but for today, we are looking at 3 different parcels or 3 different properties. The first one we're going to be looking at is called 12 Garden Circle. And I've actually already opened it, so we can just see the comparison automatically. So the first property is this 12 Garden Circle. We have 331 Derrick Street, and then we also have 347 Reserve Drive. So after I clicked on the comparisons, it shows all 3 of these parcels connected together. So you'll be able to see how many acres they have, where they're located, and any additional information regarding these particular properties. As you can see, all 3 of these parcels do not have a structure on them. There are some properties that we have that do have structures on them, but for these are you starting from the ground up in terms of what you really want to do there, and what you want to create in those particular parcels or those particular property locations. From here, let's say, for example, we want to go on and we decide that we want to do an application for Garden Circle. From here, we want to go and be able to submit an application for our particular property. Let me share how you'll be able to get to our application. I've also included another QR code as well as the link to get to our application portal, but I'm going to show you the, I guess the long way first, and then the link will take you directly there. But I want to be able to give you more than one option of way or methods of how to get to our portal. So I'm going to pull our portal back up, our website back up. So originally it was on Zoom Prospector. So I just want to go back through Google. And so what I would type in is just the city of Jackson. And when I type in City of Jackson, we'll see what the very top is the City of Jackson's website. When I click on the City of Jackson's website, here you should see a search box that says proudly serving Jackson. In that search box, I just want to type in surplus property. Once I type in surplus property, the two important things that you'll see populate is this listing. This listing shows all of our properties as of 2022. This listing is categorized based on the zoning for those parcels. So those parcels can have housing on it or a building structure on there, and some of them do not. The ones we were looking at earlier, they do not already have a structure on the location. But we also have this right here, which is our web page for surplus property. We want to click on this web page, this link for the web page. The link that I showed you earlier inside of the PowerPoint presentation takes you directly here. But just in case if you get stuck or you were a little confused, you can go through the City of Jackson's website to get to our surplus property webpage. It has my contact information. Please call or email me if you have any questions regarding the process. The big thing I want to point you to is our link to submit your online application. We see our property listings right here. This is a link to our GIS map, so you'll be able to see exactly where these properties or these parcels are. And then we also have the Hinds County Land Roll linked out here too, so that if you want to be able to see exactly what the information is regarding that parcel, like the parcel number, where it is, it also has GIS map too. You can go through the Hinds County Land Roll to be able to find that information too. But for our conversation right now, we just want to click on this link here. It takes us to our online application. Please note that you have to have a profile through our online application, because I will be submitting information, comments, commentary on your application. So you want to make sure that you are in the know of what is some upcoming items. And for the most part, the main one that you'll be receiving is what day your application will be on the docket or on the agenda for the Surplus Property Committee's monthly meeting. So you'll see surplus property, you'll click apply online. It is pulling information from my account that I already have. I will put in, make sure I verify all of my profile information is correct. You click on next. And if you already have an address, so we had 12 Garden Circle as our location. Let me go back and see. So I'm gonna just select on location right now because it's not populating. And from here, you'll be able to submit the application for your particular surplus property. For now, I just want to put some information in. Just where to go through. So this screen right here is really about your particular parcel. So we know if we have the address for our locations, we want to go through the Hinds County Land Roll to be able to find what that parcel number is for the property. From there, you'll be able to select and decide on what particular project or what do you want to get done on that particular parcel or property. You'll also be able to decide your disposal method if you want to go through the appraisal method, if you want to do a bid for it, or if you're a nonprofit, if you want to do a donation. After you submit it, you'll receive an email notification to say that you've submitted it. It's going through the workflow. You'll also receive email notifications as I'm working on it, as I'm doing the research, as I'm adding files to your application before it's presented before our surplus property committee. And that is essentially it in terms of how to locate your surplus properties or the available properties, and then also how to apply for surplus property through our system. At the very end, I really want to entertain some of the questions that people had in the comments. If you do not have questions right now, please, you can put them in. You can always email me or call me if you have additional questions for it. I do see, looks like a few questions coming through. Like our first question is regarding the disposal methods. So we have 3 disposal methods. You can do an appraisal, which essentially just means it will only be you entering into it. We'll have 2 appraisers that go out to look at your parcel or properties. And then from there, you'll be able to see what the amount is, and then it'll continue through the process. If you choose to do a bid, it'll be an open bid. So then anyone can place a bid. Whoever makes the highest bid will be the winner. And then if you're a nonprofit, you can do a donation, but there are just some criteria for a donation in order for you to go through that route. When is the next surplus property committee meeting? The next surplus property committee meeting is actually Thursday, March 21st at 3 o'clock. Our surplus property committee meets every month on the 3rd Thursday at 3 o'clock. It is an open meeting. But at that meeting is where your case will be presented before the committee. They'll ask some questions regarding what your intended use is. They'll also let you know if there's additional inspections or processes that you have to do after acquiring the property, depending on what your intended use is for those parcels or properties. Is there a cutoff to submit an application for the next meeting? So the next meeting, again, is on March the 21st. The cutoff to submit an application to make it onto that agenda will be Friday, March the 8th. However, you can submit an application anytime. Just know that depending on when you actually submit the application, it changes the month that the application will be presented before the committee. But I will definitely let you know what that date will be in once you submit that application to me. Can you provide the links for the Zoom prospector and the application? So I'll go back to the slides for those two links. That way you'll be able to see them. So for Zoom prospecting, you can scan the QR code, but also the link is down here. It's a bit.ly link, so it's bit.ly/Zoom prospector -JXN. And then the link for our surplus property application to get there will be, again, we have a scan QR code, but then we also have another bit.ly link. It is bit.ly/Jackson, all the way spelled out, -surplus, all the way spelled out, -property. So Jackson, JACKSON, -surplus, SURPLUS, -property, PROPERTY. And then it will take you back to that web page for the city of Jackson for surplus property. And it has a link right there for you to submit your application, as well as links to the other information that you may want to utilize, such as the listings of all of our properties, and that's organized by the zoning. A link to the Hinds County Land Roll, where you'll be able to find the parcel number for those properties. And then also there's a link to the Jackson's GIS map, so that you'll be able to see exactly where that parcel is too. So you can either go through the Hinds County or the City of Jackson GIS map to find that information. Are there any other questions people may have regarding surplus property? Anything, any comments, concerns, or questions for it? Awesome. It looks like we have no other questions for today's episode. I look forward to hearing from you guys, seeing you guys next month. We meet, this recording happens every 3rd Wednesday. So I look forward to seeing you guys next month. Bye.